This is Bob Reeves the Bitch, and this is going to be the coding side, other than which I just got done with the designing side. So one thing I'd like to show off is I did a little bit of work, nothing much. Dun dun dun! Colored text. So I cleaned it up. So welcome to new game, version 0.0.0.1. So yeah. So I've decided, like, there's all sorts of games I want to make. So this one is a Sword and Shield single player. Just, you know, hey, the description says it all. You know, demonstrate how to build your own game from scratch. This version will demonstrate how to program text-based games and core mechanics, which will be built upon as you learn and improve. So there it goes. It's, you know, doing its thing and done. Waiting for a keystroke. So with that said, I'm going to step you through this, but I've already made a application and printed this all out. So 0 is pure black, blue, green, light blue. Anyways, you can see the colors. And then there's background colors to them and colors with background colors. I don't think any of this blinks, but that is another option completely. So there you go. So that's what I did, and you can easily make this yourself. I'd highly recommend it. Just, you know, little fun stuff to do. So now let's get to the code. So let's start off. Let's see, get the engine going. That's the purpose. That is done. Next is the command line. Anyways, KB hit. So for the color text, you will need windows.h. Clean that up so it's like everything else. I will get into that in a moment. And here it is. Handle h console equals get standard handle, standard output handle. So that's what's needed to activate. So it sets h console. Come on, computer, you can do it. There we go. So you can see welcome to. I set the console color to 9, which is 9 right there, blue. And then back to standard 7, which is right there. It looks like the brighter of them. One is actually this odd shade of green, yellow, I think. I think that's a shade of yellow. This is just a lighter gray that's harder to read. And 7 is actually console color. So, I didn't mean to close it out. Oh well. So I literally just did spacing right here. I do this notes, and then dot dot comma is for 5, and then number is how many 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. The window is 80 wide by 24 high. So when we get into working on graphics, we can actually design our own little array to fill that, so we can get fancy with it. But for now, so it turns, moving on, and turn back to normal standard grade 7. I introduced some funny stuff here, and I will get a little bit more into it. So the G underscore is global, so it's still under the void main, so anything we run can see that. And then int, it's an integer, so global integer quit equals 0, integer counter equals 0. So I did a little layout here. Check for save file, no save file, start character intro, or initialize menu, initialize game, room description, item, room and monster and people, room exits. So those are all the things that need to be initialized. Character equals keystroke. Character is a single character, and then we start our little do loop. And this is actually the beginning of the application itself. So all this stuff is just initializing. Once you hit enter, it's gone. This is the splash screens and all that good stuff. You can do a little intro, you know. You get the idea. So this one is, well, keystroke equals 0, single character. There's a difference between single character and 0 itself. This one is a different ASCII number. So we have set it to keystroke. Where is it? I know I identified you. Right. Oh, duh. Keystroke is a character. So, anyways, there you go. So, do while it equals 0. So if you hit 0 on the keys, it'll keep looping. Otherwise, anything else pretty much closes out. Now on to the good part. So I actually set this up. This may seem like a review, but just hang with me. So I set it if it's less than or equal 9,000, I count equals 0, and then output that return to the beginning, KB hit. So once the KB is hit, keystroke is a single character, which is get CHE. And this is critical, because if you do this, it is C's version of C input, or C in. So add the E, and there you go. I have no idea what this crap is. int.c dec whatever. So this is what I use to get a single keystroke. So you hit one keystroke, it grabs that keystroke. And then what we want to do is send that keystroke off to key command. If it and done will actually be set up here. So we'll switch this out later on. So if done equals 1, again, where is done? No, I didn't set it up. So if done equals 1, it exits out. So there's only one thing they'll ever return a 1, and that's when you say, hey, I want to quit. So it's the letter Q, or you hit enter and then you type the word /quit. So there we go. So this is getting everything set up. When you quit out, you want to save your progress. You may want to move that further in, but we're not going to get to saving games for a little bit. There's a lot of stuff to cover. And then basically it starts from scratch. It says thank you for playing New Game. Game pauses, and then it closes. So that is where we're going. So let me introduce. Now, I code by myself. I'm a solo coder, so I should know every file that I have. So one of the things I've learned is that every file sequentially loads something. So if we want to load another file, include, let's say, keystroke, stroke.h, and then later on we do the include keystroke.cpp. So the header will have all the things that we need to define. If we've got characters and functions and other things, structures, integers, we define it here and then we use it here. So I always do the headers first and then the keystroke. There'll be other things later on that will require it, but it's absolutely sequential. So if you need something, there is a way to declare something. I'll get into it later. But anyways, let's get to this, shall we? That's probably going to come along later. Let's start off. Let's not crash the system too badly to start with. So let's go out and make globals. We just want a plain, simple text, and what we want is key. Let's call it ng keystroke. ng for new game. You can add any other meaning to ng, but I will call it new game. So now let's call it new game globals. New game globals. So I messed that up. Okay. Let's edit. Edit. So it's new game globals. .h. Ding. Yes, of course I want to change it. So for me, one of the things that I enjoy doing is like sneaking up on my code. This should absolutely work. So let's give it a test. And there we go. And there we go. It's lovely. Oh, that only showed up when I'm running it from this application. So when I'm running from here, it doesn't. That's nice. That's good to know. So that's only a, what is it, code blocks thing. That is lovely. So globals. I probably misspelled that, but meh. My code, I can misspell it as I see fit. So there we go. So in this, I'd like to declare a few things. Move this out. And globals will now contain the globals. Excuse me. Doctors think it's a heart problem. So I know I'm going to post it today. So here we are at November 22nd, 2015. Getting close to the big T day, Turkey Day. Created by Poverty's bitch. Let's get the capitalization correct, shall we? Yeah, it's a name and all, so meh. Poverty's a bitch. Purpose. Set up all global variables. Yeah. Okay. So right now, what global variables we need? Not much. Just this. So that should be it. So there. I control save. Confirm that's going to attach. Yeah. And let's run it. We really haven't done shit, so it should run just fine. So let's... And the application is small, so we shouldn't have a problem at all. Perfect. So that's sneaking it up. You know, things may seem simple, but if I open up the file and I just start coding and coding and coding and then save and be like, oh, and then reread it and be like, everything looks fine, and then compile it, you may have 100 errors, and it's like, what's going on? So I've learned just to sneak up on the code. So it's not like you're going to be able to compile your masterpiece every 5 seconds just to test the next line of code. Later on, I'll make like a dummy code, something small, something simple, just to test the one piece. Once that one piece is running fine, I will munge it into the major code. And there's mistakes that happen, but it's a learning curve too. Let's see, what is next? Oh, I was going to actually explain different things. So like, global, of course, is G underscore, and then whatever else follows. So if it's class, it's CL. Class. Come on, I can spell. So structure. That's a string. I think I had struck for structure. And then array. I think letter A. Because there's really nothing else that starts with an A that I know of. Integer is I. Character is CH. If it's a single one, it's CHE. Actually, it could be both. Character? How did I have it in the past? It'll come to me as I review my code, but these are the different things. So if you've got a global integer, it'd look like this. That way you can look at it and tell where it's going, or where it's from, or how to find it. And there's more different types, but this is just a starting point. So this way, you know, you can come back to one of your chunks of code, and you know exactly what this is supposed to be. So, in iname, it's a integer, it's a name, and it's local. It's going to disappear once the function is done. Global, this is something you can test, and you go to the global.h defined. So that's how that works. All right, what's next? So I've explained the code meanings. Oh man, here's a note to myself. I'm like, I didn't do it. Research pound if not, and then pound include. This is for when you're not working solo at the top. I'll have to look it up again, but it's something like pound, all caps, if not include, if not define. If not define, you put in something, let's just say ng, let's call it ng pre-globals. So if it's not defined, .h, then I guess then include ng pre-globals .h. End. So that's usually what it looks like. I'll have to find out the actual coding for that, but you get the idea. And that's so that if you're working with a group and you know you need something defined, and if it's not defined, you can define it again. If it's already defined, you don't need to define it. So if your code appears before someone else's that needs the same thing, then the compiler is going to use your include that file name because it comes before the other guy's system that needs it, and says, hey, if it's not defined, then use it. That's just what it means, so that you can write your code and you can be sloppy. You don't need to rely upon teamwork or communication in the group that way. It's pretty sad, but that's the way it goes. So when I build, I start here and start adding my own files further down, just down the list. And all this is pre-done, so I don't have to put it here. Like later on, once everything starts compiling, I can include one. And if my fingers will work today, it's like it's cold in this room. New game include dots. Everyone has different preferences. Like in keystroke.ccp, we could just, include just that one, and then this line could appear at the top of this file. So all we've got is .cpp's here, and then we've got .h's defined elsewhere. But I like it this way, so it's a lot more clear. I don't have to go digging into a file. Or it's like, oh, I just need this file. I go open it up, and it's like, oh, I need another file. You open up that one, go, oh, I need another file. This way, it's nice and clean to me. It's all right here. So, all right, the next step. Yeah, you can probably hear crinkling of paper in the background. Yeah, it's one of these paper mats from a Chinese restaurant. I'm like, I treated myself out. I felt good about my last programming, so I took notes about what I'm going to do. So, let's see. All right. So I've mentioned about sneaking up on the code. You program a little bit, you compile and test. You just keep doing it. That way, if there's something that breaks, there's a problem, or sometimes you put in one single line of code and suddenly you get like 100 errors because, something stupid. You forgot something, and it starts glitching out everything after that. A simple fix is all you do is compile each chunk of code that works. For example, I'm sure you guys remember it. I did this first, and it did nothing. And I just want to make sure it worked before I added material on the inside. Again, that's sneaking up on the code. When you start programming, most people don't have the experience, so they have to just do this. Even the pros have to do this. They write out their ideas. I love how that just disappears as blockage. But they have to write it out. It says, hey, this is what I want to do. This is what the format. And then you start following through. And all this could be included in a intro. And then this, like for example, I could just cut this out, create a new file called intro and stick it in there. And then from there I just say, hey, let's call intro. So let's do that, shall we? I'll probably want to declare all this stuff to make sure it's good. Globals, we got the global in there. Let's do it, shall we? New game intro .h. I don't think I'm going to need anything else. Yeah. Let's just not include that, shall we? I'll just make a note of it. I don't need it. New game intro.cpp. Yes, of course I want to change it. There we go. So what do I want to move over? All this happy hippie stuff. So everything, this is pretty much the intro. Cut it out of here. And we'll just call it intro. Grr, come on. As I fat finger the keys here. Intro. Over here, there's the intro. Let's see. Created November 22nd, 2015. Creator. Poverty is a bitch. Purpose, yes, I include this every time with all my files. Splash. So, let's see. Will I have the initialization of the game here? Yeah, probably. Splash pages. Purpose. Let's make this nice, shall we? And intros, character starts. And initialization. It's like trash that one. Initialization. I butcher this. Oh, it's not going to give me initialize. Initialize. Anyways, you get the idea. My bad spelling. And there we go. So this should, that needs to go into globals. I quit. There we go. So save that. Oh, you see the little asterisk in front of it? I hit save, it goes away. So that's a sign just to let you know that you haven't saved it yet. I'm kind of obsessive. Void. What do I call it? Intro? Intro. Void. Nope, that's the key right there. Why you put it there? Stupid thing. And yoink. So let's see. Intro. And intro. Intro. There we go. And now to sneak up on it. And there we go. We got errors. See out. Nah. Why isn't it defined? That's probably why. So little things start showing up. And you just have to reorganize it. So that's saved, that's saved, that's saved. Let's go back to here. I counter undeclared. I counter undeclared. Yep, that goes back here. So like I said, sneaking up. Sneaking up on your code. And there we go. So it should run just fine. Yep, lovely. Alright, so I've demonstrated quite a few things, and now it's time to dig into command line. So, I'm going to end this one here and do a third part on command line. So this is kind of beating around the bush, getting into some details, just, I don't know, little itty-bitty details kind of helps. But this helps clean up everything, and very good. Lovely. So it works. Intro works. Keystroke. Keystroke. So next we will get into defining the done for the quit. There we go. And that is actually going to be the global integer quit. And once it quits, we'll quit out of here. So that's what we'll do. We'll start the command line. And I've already coded this, so what I'm going to do is pick out my code that I've already written and munge it in, and then clean out a lot of the code, because a lot of the features are probably dead. Because it's, like I said, it's an organism, so each one starts to develop its own strengths. And while you build, I always prefer filling in notes. A lot of people get bored with it, like, oh my god, I fucking hate notes, hate doing notes. Well, you want to, there's a balance, you know, no note sucks. Noting everything, like the start of the do loop. It's stating the obvious, you're wasting time and it's too much documentation. The point of this, like created and edited, is if someone comes along, say 2 years later, they need to update edited and who edited. So it was me before, but I'm not mentioning my previous name. So let's see. So that should be a good start. I will catch you in the next recording, and I will have key commands started. And that's it. I'll catch you later. Thank you for watching.